What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I can't believe I'm doing this video. IGN, Madden NFL 21 review in progress, and asterisks, incremental changes, stagnant new transition. Oh, excuse Ted, it's strange to see you here. Could you let people know how these EA IGN conversations normally go about the game review?
It's the bottom line, and my wealth runs deeper than just dollars, because I'm rich, and what it all comes down to is this. Money isn't everything, it's the only thing, and everyone has a price.
Oh, Ted, I mean, that was beautiful. I mean, that's better than the acting and face of the franchise. Thank you so much for that. But you know what? When you go into this and you hear them talk about a review in progress based on having about 4 days worth of playtime with this game, and how that isn't quite enough. It's ironic because it's enough for just about everyone else in the community to spend 10 hours with this game and see where it is. And this is the realization that so many YouTube creators are going to have to face. This is really one of the biggest backers historically of this game coming out and having to realize they can't continue to swim upstream against everyone else in this community that understands, that sees the Metacritic, that looks at the game and knows. And now, all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, they want to double back against everything they've been telling us. I mean, let's be honest. They weren't sitting there hyping up years of marginal improvements in new features to just make it seem like it was enough to keep going forward. They continually told us steps in the right direction. We kept telling them treading water. So how could all those steps in the right direction land us here? Where all of a sudden, you're saying that the surprisingly unique The Yard mode doesn't overcome the persistent issues, neglected features, and they can say new annoyances, but we all know when you play this game, you have that Madden-esque moment that brings you back to know you're playing the same exact game that you've been playing. They talk about it with the underlying moment-to-moment football play. I mean, that's the reality. That's actually the truth that so many of us that play this game know. And what I find so shocking about this is how are they going to be able to actually back this up? I mean, basically what they're saying is, we didn't have enough time with this game, but with more time, maybe we'll like it more and revisit it, but we have to put something out now because the game's released. And the last line of this actually astonishes me. There's no excuse for Madden stagnation. I can't believe somebody other than me is saying it. And most of the people that watch my channel in this community. I appreciate the tweaks to the core gameplay and the novelty of the yard, but that isn't enough to make me want. Do you understand the power of words? They want to sing this game's praises, but they know they can't any longer because there's no excuse. They had to give it a 6. I don't care if you put not final after that. This isn't high school. We're not turning in a term paper, get all the words marked wrong, and then get it handed back to us so we can get an 80, so we can pass with an average. This game isn't even average. It's been below average. You don't have to score it now, IGN. You had to score it. Period. And you gave it a 6. And I love to see it, because that means the Metacritic will probably be less than 2.1. And I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, they had to overcome all these obstacles and oh, what a challenging year. Listen, it was a challenging year for everyone. It was a challenging year for everybody that spent $60 or $100 on this game. But they don't want anything in return but a quality product. So I don't really care about how challenging this must have been. The reality is, if you'd had a quality product for 6, 7, 8 years in a row, the community probably would have been okay with letting one slide even into a transition year with all the things that were happening. But you never took all that time. You never had the quality product to begin with, to build upon, to take all those steps in the right direction. And what it landed you with was right here. A mediocre game being called out by one of the biggest names in the industry and putting this entire community in check because half the people continue to sit there and sing this game's praises as if it's been completely rebuilt from the ground up, while the people that play it know and understand it hasn't. The people that don't get the benefit of having an interaction with EA. But I'll tell you right now, no one, in my opinion, had a larger interaction with EA Sports than IGN. And that's just all there is to it. You know, there's been other channels like Soft Drink Sports that have made fun of, that have mocked the IGN to EA relationship. So I hope to a lot of you, you honestly sit down and realize this is a watershed moment. This is a massive moment in Madden history. Because they can go back and they can say, we're going to increase this rating. But imagine how much of a hit IGN would take if they put this up to an 8. Imagine what EA would have to do to register a quarter increase in their score. I mean, they are not able to put out a quality game after months. How are they going to put out a quality game in a patch? It's not going to happen. It can't happen. You know, this is the result of years and years of no change. So many people in this community, if not everyone in this community, I know, has constantly pleaded with EA, just give us a better product. Just make a better game for us. And all we've been sold is a better game. We've never been actually given that better game. The removal of things that have never been put back in, the removal of things with no rhyme or reason, the addition of modes no one asked for, the failure of modes. This is what got them there. They basically proved last year they could patch in Superstar KO mode, and then they tried to sell us a lesser mode in the yard, which I talked about was supposed to align with the park and didn't even categorically meet every requirement because it's not user versus user. And then to make matters worse, or maybe to make matters more EA, they back it up with what has had to have been one of the most disastrous launches in history. EA actually came out today at 3 o'clock on their Twitter, Kralo's former Twitter that is now Madden NFL Direct, and admitted and acknowledged and apologized. Because they know. They know that they've ruined a franchise, they've taken every competitor out of the marketplace, and now everyone can sit here and look at what this game has become. It's beyond the show of itself. It's an embarrassment to sports games, and it's a shame that we've had to endure it for so long. And hopefully these are the things that the NFL sees. These are the things that outside of the sports game genre or video game realm sees and says, wait a second, there's something going on with this product, and they've been ripping their consumers off for far too long. And if IGN is the one that has to call it out for it to be made, if IGN is the one that has to actually say it for it to matter, well, then I'm glad today was the day. And I can't wait to see what EA has to do or thinks they need to do or end up doing to try to salvage themselves from a 6 user score. Love to know what you guys think about this. I appreciate you checking out this video. And you know, I will be back in the week with more commentary.